Romans 14:8. So looking at this verse, the focus is whether we live or whether we die, we live and die for the Lord, and we are the Lord's, right? So when it comes to being a Christian and living your life as a Christian, everything is surrounded by what you do for the Lord every single day, the way you're living your life, right, and being an example to other Christians and for those that aren't Christians, right? So whether we live, we are the Lord's, right? So everything about how you're living, right, is all centered around what God wants you to do. And whatever it is that God wants you to do in your life, that's exactly, what you should be doing. So, of course, nobody's perfect. And, of course, you have your ups and downs, your struggles and whatnot. And, of course, then all of those things, just come along with the territory. But at the end of the day, whether we live as Christians, we live according to the rules, the commands, and everything that the Lord wants us to do, right? So any and everything that Jesus spoke about, for us as Christians that we need to do, any and everything under the sun, those are the things that we need to be doing, right? And making sure that we set the example, setting an example for those that aren't Christians so they can see how Christians should be living, right? Regardless of the ups and downs and struggles that Christians may have, but just seeing the difference, in the way that Christians live, and knowing that as a Christian, my life is focused on God, right? And everything within my life needs to be centered on that. So this way, I know that I'm living in a way that is holy, that in a way where I can say, hey, I'm doing what I need to be doing, day in and day out for the Lord. No matter what it is, you're doing it all to the glory of God at the end of the day, because that is the focus for the life of a Christian, is living your life for God. When you read the scriptures and you see, okay, this is what the Lord wants you to do and how he wants you to live and all these different things, then you see, okay, this is the way that Christians should be living. So whether we live, we are the Lord's, and whether we die, we are the Lord's, right? So up until death, you're living your life, as a Christian, all the way up until death, and even after death, and for all eternity and the afterlife, we'll be in heaven, and we are still the Lord's at the end of the day, because we know that this is not the end for us, here in this life. So we will be with God forever in the next life. So whether we live or whether we die, we are the Lord's at the end of the day, right? So I hope that helps.